What is up, everybody? We are back in the building. I know it's very late for a lot of you, and I am actively working to arrange my schedule so I can go a bit earlier so more of you can tune in to this show. Give me a couple of days. I'm going to get it right. Oh, yeah, our sound is freaking cooking. Give me a couple of days. I'm going to get it going a lot earlier, maybe like 3 p.m. 3 p.m. or 4 p.m., latest 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so that people on the East Coast could watch it like before it's too late. But let me work out the kinks with the timing and the scheduling. Just know that I'm working on that. Beyond that, guys, listen, we have some really good topics we need to cover. A lot is going, man, the sound is cooking, Porsche man, for real. But guys, I was not on No Jumper News today for whatever reason. They decided not to put me on there. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit pissed off because it's like, bro, you're gonna talk about Trump and not invite me to talk about that Trump topic. Instead, you invite people who, in my opinion, no shade at anyone, they really didn't have any clue about what was going on politically. Not that they're dumb or ignorant, it's just like that's not what they're into. And I really feel like it was a play to like try to perpetuate this idea that like Lush and maybe even Josh are like the smartest people in the room. Listen, bro, we've already shattered that bullshit. I mean, to whom it may concern, this idea that certain individuals are just the highest intellect in the room at all times, those days are over. So if you're trying to like bring those days back, salvage those days are over. Now, obviously, I'm just an employee, right? So you can get rid of me at any moment, but you will not get rid of me with the idea permeating or, on the audience mind that, we're way smarter. That guy was dumb. This ain't that. But all I'm saying is you're talking about Trump. It's a news segment. You should have the resident Trump supporter, at least so there's some balanced take on the situation. But hey, it is what it is. So what I said is, hey, dude, look, this is what I can do. I know there are people who show up to listen to me give my takes on certain things, Trump being one of them, politics being one of them. Here I am on my channel. We're going to learn about what's going on. I promise not to talk over the video while it's playing so you can get the context, and I'll give you my opinions. And as a matter of fact, I'll give you guys a chance to come up and give your thoughts on these topics. We get a little bit derailed. Sometimes we have people like stand up. So I'm going to take like 1 to 2 minute responses or thoughts on the topics, and then you can go back down and then you can come up for the next topic or come up again and talk about that topic if you want to. But we are in the building. So the first thing we have to discuss is this guy, Charlemagne the God, right? As if it wasn't enough to look absolutely ignorant and dumb, going against Trump on behalf of Kamala Harris, who ultimately like turned on Charlemagne when he asked questions that she didn't want to answer, that she couldn't answer. After being humiliated, Charlemagne, and exposing yourself as a political ignoramus, not a novice, because I don't believe he's really as dumb as he comes off or tries to present himself to be. I believe that he is willing to make himself look like a fool for Democrat dollars, right? As if that wasn't enough, Charlemagne the God makes one last effort to pick a fight with the president of the United States by lambasting him as old and dumb and incompetent as a guest host of the Stephen Colbert Show, right? I don't know why we do this. It just seems like the black liberals, right? They're always the ones who want to die on a hill over an unwinnable battle. Trump won All the white critics of Trump, the people who were like the most adamantly against Trump with the loudest voices, have already capitulated. There was no one who hated Trump more than Joe Scarborough. And Joe Scarborough and his mother, his wife, literally went to Mar-a-Lago, bent the knee, and kissed Trump's royal hiney. Like less than a week after Trump was elected president. Why are these black pundits and analysts, commentators and hosts still trying to cling on to this never Trump attitude? Everyone else has figured it out. Everyone else has said, look, this guy's the president. He literally kicked our asses. He literally took the popular vote. The world is going more conservative every single day. Why don't we just see how we can make sure that our people are able to get something out of this, instead of telling our people to be the last holdouts when it comes to hating Trump? At this point, it's time to just start working with the president to see what you can get. Every other group in America is doing that. Only the Negro Brigade has to be the last ones to get off the hill when it comes to going against Trump. We can walk away, people, but just understand that people like Donald Trump, like Charlemagne the God, these people are literally getting paid. They have an incentive to make you believe that there is any real opposition to Donald Trump in this country. There just isn't. Everyone has capitulated. And everyone who hasn't capitulated, guess what? They're unemployed. They're no longer a part of the process, as we learned from Kamala Harris. Let's play this video, and then I'll give my thoughts, and I'll invite you up to give yours.
President Trump lashed out at Charlemagne the God over the weekend for comments that he made on Lara Trump's Fox show.
Let's first listen to what Charlemagne had to say.
I think there's a coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying attention to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I really do.
President Trump wasn't having it. He took to Truth Social and wrote, quote, "The very wonderful and talented Lara Trump, who shows a big rating success, put racist Charlemagne the God." Why is he allowed to use the word God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname? Trump giving himself great ideas. He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth, and knows nothing about me or what I have done. Remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world, MAGA.
Lara Trump told Charlemagne she thinks things have changed and that she doesn't see so-called traditional Republicans coming back to the forefront. Charlemagne, however, said this line of thinking could be a trap. Let's watch.
Say what you want. Donald Trump is a once-in-a-lifetime, one-on-one political juggernaut. You're not going to be Donald Trump. So if you think you're going to be able to do what Donald Trump has done, talk the way Donald Trump has talked, get away with what Donald Trump has got away with, it's not going to happen. So everybody right now, we have the opportunity to have like a huge reset.
So, well, go ahead.
I was just saying, the ideal role for Charlemagne the God from a conservative media standpoint is to have him focused on what's wrong with the Dems and beating them up. What you want your Charlemagne.
All right, we don't need this guy's take. Charlemagne the God is basically like that one slave who's trying to encourage all the other slaves to stay on the plantation. Well, now that some of the slaves then ran off, maybe Massa treat us better because he don't got as many slaves to work for him. Maybe he'll start giving us some respect. Maybe he'll start giving us 2 days off a week instead of one. Maybe he'll start giving us, biscuits and gravy on Sundays because all those other slaves left and he doesn't want us to run off. That's Charlemagne right now. Charlemagne is literally one of the last remaining slaves on the plantation, the Democrat plantation. Only other ones remaining are Joy Reid, Summer, is her name Summer Sanders? Jamal Bowman, and just a few other, Maxine Waters, Al Green, just a few select idiots who just don't want to accept that the Democrat Party has become totally toxic, literally clinging on to ideas and ideology that the American people have ultimately rejected. Trump recently banned transgenders from being in the military. Do you hear anyone fighting that? Do you hear anyone saying, no, that's not right, let's go protest? No, because no one wanted that in the first place. Everyone was just too afraid to say anything about it because they didn't want to get canceled. And once Trump defeated cancel culture, once Trump proved that the American people are still more powerful than social media and mainstream media, they lost their teeth. The Democrat Party is now like a toothless dog. He can bite you, but other than pressure, he can't do any real damage. Why are you still advocating for them? Oh, there can be a resurgence or whatever. Why would you want a resurgence of the why would you want a repeat of the last 10 years? I'm telling you, the last 10 years, almost 15, 14, have been, other than the Trump years, have been some of the, no, even including the first Trump presidency, the term of presidency. The last 15 years have probably been the worst or darkest years in American history. And I'm including World War II, World War I, the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, the Vietnam War, Desert Storm, the Korean War. I'm including all that. The last 10 to 15 years have been some of the worst years in American history. And you know why these have been the worst years? Because your enemy was your neighbor. Your enemy was someone who you would think would want to see you doing well. And your neighbor didn't just make themselves an enemy because you were doing something that hurt them. They made themselves your enemy because they were convinced that pretending to care about a bunch of shit that they don't give two craps about made them a better person. It was literally like the Special Olympics on steroids. The guy who wins the Special Olympics is under no delusion believing that he could beat abled athletes in those events. The guy who wins the 100, what is it? The 100 or the 200 in the Special Olympics does not believe he can go out there and beat old buddy. What's his name? What's his name? Guys, give me the name. Noah Lyles. He doesn't think he could beat Noah Lyles. He knows he can't. But when it comes to politics, the most idiotic, degenerate, reclusive, asexual loser actually believes that he can be better than someone who's out here making the world a better place. The weirdo who lives next door to you with the blue hair, who says, my pronouns are whatever. They think they're better than Elon Musk because I care more. Girl, you don't care. Or guy, you don't care. You're literally in the competition of caring. This is the caring Special Olympics. I'm better than you because I care more than you. But then when the rubber meets the road, they really don't care. Because I have yet to see one of my liberal neighbors let an illegal immigrant move into their house. And if you're living in a liberal stronghold like me, you also have yet to see that. And people don't understand how dangerous that can be. When you have people who are willing to do anything in the name of caring, in the name of false pseudo-altruism. And that's what we lived through over the last 15 years. I'm talking about we damn near destroyed America, pretending to care about people who don't give a damn about America. Your neighbor was willing to destroy America and put you and your family at risk so they could pretend to care about a bunch of degenerates coming from South American prisons. Let that sink in. It was so funny. It was so funny watching people defend the Democrats, defend Joe Biden, defend just insanity. And to sit there and watch them try to rationalize that on the fly. Tell me why I should let this rapist in the country to prey on my daughter and my niece and my wife and my auntie and grandma. Oh, because Trump's a racist. What? Oh, because gang-banging, mentally disturbed South American traffickers aren't racist. You have people talking about, we need to let Kilmar Abreu back in the country, or Abreu, or whatever his name is, back in the country because of due process. So we need to let a trafficker back in the country. So for due process, and this is coming out of the mouth of someone who claims to hate Trump because he won't release the Epstein files. Meanwhile, Democrat congressmen and senators, well, congressmen, representatives, literally just blocked Trump's attempt to release the Epstein files. A Democrat judge appointed by Obama just blocked Trump from releasing the grand jury transcripts. But no one cares about them. You don't even know their names. You don't even know the name of the judge who did it. But you hate Trump because Trump is trying to hide the Epstein files. Nah, Trump's just smart enough to know that the people who are on the list are in power, and they're going to use every ounce of power that they have to make sure that list is not released. Trump has said, dude, listen, I was never on Epstein Island. No one has proof that he was on Epstein Island. No pilot or concierge or anybody came forward and said, no. He's lying. He was definitely on Epstein Island. Remember, you need pilots and stuff to fly over there. There's workers. People who are employed to work there. Nobody came forward. That leads me to believe that he wasn't there. They just interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell. They said she held nothing back. But some people say, oh, Epstein saying Trump was one of his best friends means Trump was on the island. You know how many good friends I have and I've never even been to their house? They want to make a false correlation between two things that none of us even know the details of or the truth about. Let's keep it a buck. This is like pulling the lid off of like a secret society or some type of secret organization. And I'm not going to lie, when I sit on No Jumper, I literally see that. I see that they're just people who will argue against something just because they emotionally, they don't like a person. I'm not going to go against anyone politically just because I don't like them. There's a lot of people I don't like. I'm not going to go against you because I don't like you. I mean, even Bernie Sanders, though he's a damn socialist, he's a communist. I mean, let's be real. Some of my people, my family members would have benefited. They would benefit from some of Bernie Sanders' policies. It might hurt me, but it'll benefit them. So I could understand that. I can understand why people will want free college tuition. I get it. I just don't want to pay for it. But Kamala Harris, this lady had nothing good. She was so lost of good ideas. She was so void of good ideas. She literally started stealing Trump's ideas. This is a fact. And you got dummies like Charlemagne the God saying, I still would vote for Kamala. What? No, you wouldn't. You'll get paid to say that. Even Beyonce and all the people she paid to perform. They literally were like, we're not going to, they never came out and endorsed her. They literally just performed, took their check, and left. And when she didn't get elected, not a single one came out in support of her. This guy, Charlemagne, is just an idiot. And that's why Trump got at him. Trump was just basically like, these guys care more about their pockets, which you should, than they care about America. Not realizing that America is the reason you're able to line your pockets. Understand that. Now, I don't agree with Trump when he says, you know, why does Charlemagne get to call himself a god? Right? I mean, Mr. President, if you look up Psalms 82:6, the Bible clearly says, ye are gods, saying that men are in fact gods. So I have no, I take no umbrage, right, with Charlemagne referring to himself as a god. The Bible even refers to men of God as gods. Psalms 82:6 says, this verse spoken by God. Oh, wait, let me see. Hold on. I don't want to have the wrong thing. I'll read it to you so you don't say, Brandon, you know, y'all love this. Psalms 82:6 reads, I said, you are gods. You are all sons of the Most High, but you will die like mere mortals. You will fall like all men. So the Bible calls men gods, specifically speaking of men in positions of authority. And if you look at the ancient Hebrew translation of the word God, it literally means just a mighty person. Even Jesus is referred to as a God. That doesn't mean he's Almighty God, but he's a God. He's powerful. The Bible says there are many gods and many called gods, but there's only one true God. So I'm against Trump on that. Don't come for my man's name. Don't come for his, like, if that's what he needs to make himself feel empowered, he is a god. Trump's wrong on that one. But everything else, Trump's on point. Now, Trump is right if he referred to himself as a god, all of a sudden niggas have a problem with it. And guess what? I would come with the same explanation as to why it's okay for Trump to refer to himself as a god. But when I do it, when I explain on behalf of Trump, I will then be called a coon, a traitor to my race, all this stuff. I'm just a straight shooter. And I try to play it fair. But yeah. So Trump says he's a low IQ individual. I don't agree with that either. Charlemagne is very smart. He knows black folks just ain't trying to do nothing politically. So he's like, it doesn't matter what side I come down on. They're voting Democrat at 90%, no matter who gives me a check. That's the same thing people like Candace Owens know. right? People like Alan West or Jasmine Crockett or Byron Donald. They know we're not going anywhere politically. We will die on this Democrat plantation if that's what it takes to prove our loyalty. Because we still, in our mind, think that the Democrats are more likely to give us something than the Republicans, even though the Democrats ain't gave you nothing. All right, guys. So, yeah, this guy Charlemagne makes himself look like an idiot. But let me know what you think. The link is in the comments. Do you think Charlemagne was right? Or do you think Charlemagne needs to just give up the anti-Trump crap and focus on something else? Because I feel like the more he focuses on Trump, the more he's trying to present the Democrats as a solution. And we all know they're not the solution. You might say no politician is. But I know for a fact, No Ideas Kamala wasn't the solution. She made it clear. Will I do anything for black people specifically? No. So why are we voting for her again? And I can understand not doing anything for a specific race or color of people. But damn, Kamala, what are you going to do for all of us as Americans? She didn't even have a good idea. Trump's like, no tax on tips. You know what would be a good idea? No tax on tips. That was literally Kamala Harris's strategy. And then she's confused as to why she lost. You know exactly why you lost. You're an idiot. That's why. Go ahead, P. Sizzle.
Yeah, Brandon, a big fan of yours on the No Jumper show. But yeah, I would just like to say that I've been voting for Trump for, I think, 2016 and 2020, and I think the Democrat Party as a whole is in a really bad shape. Like in Texas, they're talking about doing redistricting that might affect Jasmine Crockett. I know they don't like Zoran Mamdani in New York. California is a shit show. So I just feel like Charlemagne is just trying to pander to his fan base, and he got what he wanted, reaction from Trump to get more views. So I think the cycle as a whole, it worked in the favor of Charlemagne, but the party as a whole is just in a really, really bad shape. And it's really up to Trump because I'm a big fan of his, but like the inflation numbers, the tariff policies, I think manufacturing contracted as well. Last week's report. I hope he gets it right with the administration he has right now. But if he doesn't, then I'm just not so confident somebody like JD Vance or like torchbearers can finish what like Trump wanted to start. But yeah, that's really my opinion on this.
Okay, so I'm trying to get it clear. There's been an economic surge over the last 2 weeks. So when you're saying retracted, do you mean like it dropped, like like the market fluctuates?
So it's like he started out in April saying we're gonna put tariffs on like China, India, other countries. And right now he took off those tariffs on some countries, and the tariffs exist on some other countries.
Well, what he actually said, just for the sake of facts, he said we're gonna use tariffs as a negotiating tool. That's what he said. So and the like tariffs were a punishment for people who didn't want to come to the table and negotiate. Now we got to be honest. See, this is my thing. I gotta be honest now.
Coming at this with not like a full like knowledge and like expertise as like other people might have. But I just like being like a young person, a little bit disaffected. You want to see jobs being created. And I just feel like no matter who's in office, whether it's Biden or Trump, like they say one thing and then in reality, like something else happens. At the same time, it could be just me being impatient. Maybe we see better like outcomes once rates cut, once there's more manufacturing jobs being created. But it's just like stock market's doing great. Some jobs are being added in certain sectors. At the same time, they're like overplaying it on CNN and other like media outlets, saying that, oh, you're deporting all the Mexicans and illegals, therefore like there's a net negative effect that's happening in the economy. So it's just like hard for me to like digest like what's fact and what's not fact. And then you were talking about earlier too, there's like a lot of echo chambers out there, like people like Josh on No Jumper They just want to argue in one certain direction just because it helps their people out, their friends out. No, and I think that's the issue too with that Joe No Jumper show.
And the funny thing is, it doesn't help their friends because Adam is a multimillionaire. Do you think Adam wants to see taxes go up? No, he cares. No. He cares.
No, I'm saying he doesn't care about his friends. Like all he cares about is his money going up. So.
All he cares is right. That's all he wants that money, and I don't blame him. But what I'm telling you is when you find someone who argues against their own best interests, never believe them. Never believe them. That's like a cat.
And that's the thing that sucks. Like half the country really isn't America first. They're more so like welfare state first.
No. Their feelings first. Their feelings first. This makes me feel this way. Well, No Jumper is a warehouse. Why don't you guys let a bunch of illegal immigrants come stay there? They could sleep all on the floor. There's plenty of room up in there. It's all good as long as someone else has to fit the bill. As long as someone else has to lift up the box. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No Jumper would be the perfect shelter for illegal immigrants. Big warehouse, huge. We could make them some beds and they could sleep in there and hang out while we do our thing in there. But they're not going to do it.
My pushback to that would be, so he's deporting certain classes of people and he's not deporting other people, like say critical fast food workers or critical farm workers. And like, I'm just wondering, like, at what point will like our base like speak up and say stuff like, we're not going in the direction we're going? Like, I don't.
You cut out. I don't know what happened, but you cut out.
Sorry about that.
Say that last part again.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw last week, like Tucker Carlson got into a big argument with Ted Cruz, and then he got into a big argument with Nick Fuentes. I just feel like there's a lot of factions popping up in the party now that we haven't seen at the beginning of his administration. I just hope it all works out as a supporter.
Well, what you see is like MAGA supporters are trying to center themselves more because what people don't understand is extremism on either side is a detriment to the party, right? So MAGA is trying like on a mission to prove, well, we're not like total radicals on the right. You see even Candace Owens is trying to move back to center. What they understand is sometimes you got to be a warrior, but once the war is over, you got to go back to being a farmer again, right? You got to re-enter the normal, what we used to call polite society. And it's like, even me, a lot of people are like, oh, you're not doing this type of content anymore. No. I'm diversifying my content. I'm diversifying my appeal because we fought the war already for 4 years. Well, shit, longer than that for us, 12 years. We fought the war for 12 years. We got what we wanted. But guys, sitting up, declaring victory and cheering is not going to get anything done. You have to now take advantage of what you fought for. That's the nature of politics. You can't fight against Monsanto so they can't monopolize the seed market. And then once you win the fight, you say, well, I ain't planting nothing. I'm going to go work down at the sawmill. No, dude, because guess what? What does that movie say? They always come back. The Democrat Party will resurge. It will come back. It will rise again in another form with another set of fear-mongering issues, right? New fear-mongering tactics to scare you into supporting them. They're already working on it. They're looking for a boogeyman to scare you into voting for them again. So I think
and the only thing that has been working for them has been like the Epstein stuff and trying to like implicate Trump in it. But in reality, if he was really involved in that stuff, like predecessors and Democrats in the past would have used that against him like all day, every day.
Most investigated president in history. Now, only now are you guys talking about the Epstein file? Get the hell out of here. No, anybody who falls for that is an idiot. Like, guys, they literally chose to go for Russian collusion over this Epstein stuff, which means that alone should prove to you that they had what they believed to be a stronger argument with Russiagate than the Epstein files. The Epstein files was a Democrat problem, really. not a
I
Republican.
mean, even the Russia stuff too, because they're saying today Obama directed like 5 different agencies to come up with like an IC report on Trump and Russia and like meddling in elections.
He instructed them to
And
make false reports.
you're right, yeah, and like I'm not sure if that's like politically motivated or not. To, like,
It's 100. Come on, it's 100% politically motivated. Like, if it wasn't politically motivated, why was it Trump when he decided to run for president?
no, I mean like bringing out Obama now out in the media circus. I feel like it is really up to the people, like to believe if this is like a circus show or if this is like actual like charges that the people believe. And like you know how people are with Obama, like the dude can do like something really bad and like they'll still put him on a pedestal.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to destroy Obama because Obama is the last Democrat with a shred of like credibility. And I don't know why he should have. Hey, stop spamming the chat.
Who do you think, by the way, who do you think is gonna run in 28?
Let's see this right here. Epstein and Ghislaine were both arrested under Trump's first term. So how did Biden and Obama mess with the files? What are you talking about? The Epstein list has been out for a long time. Guys, come on. Do you think they literally just go arrest people? Oh, we got something. They do an investigation. Then they arrest. The federal government is not just arresting that dude today, like, oh, we found this today. Let's arrest. Dude, they had that shit for years. But when they arrested him is when he allegedly deleted himself. Once he realized, oh, this is serious. Let me ask you a better question, goofball spam in the chat. If they were arrested, if Donald Trump was involved with Epstein's stuff, why didn't Donald Trump just pardon him immediately? Hey, I'm pardoning Jeffrey Epstein and I'm sealing the files. The president has the power to declare something to be what's it called? To be sealed. He basically could say like this is classified. He has the power to classify documents. So it doesn't make any sense, guys. Like there's nothing there. If you have common sense and you look at this for what it is, there's really no incentive Trump has to try to mess with. Listen, don't spam my chat. You're going to be out of here. Yeah. There's nothing in this that makes me even remotely believe Trump had anything to do with any underhanded stuff that Epstein was dealing with at that island. Trump, he may be a pervert, but he definitely likes older women. He definitely likes like adults because he's had a lot of scandals, but never with children. But why, if I was president and I was messing around on that island, I would have classified that shit so fast. And I would have pardoned Jeffrey Epstein. Hell, as a matter of fact, you would have never arrested him. So none of it adds up. None of it adds up. But I'll tell you why somebody like Biden would let the Epstein stuff go, because he's probably on the list. All right, let me get my boy KP in here. What up, KP? You in the building?
What's the deal?
What's good?
So I'm gonna just say, as far as Charlemagne goes, he critiques both parties. He says shit like, I don't know if you watch Charlemagne enough. He
very rarely will throw a jab at the Democrats.
He threw jabs at the Democrats almost a lot after the election. He was throwing a lot.
After the election.
But I mean, I'm saying though, you're gonna ride with the party you voted for. You feel you got the best. If you feel they got the best interest for you, you're gonna ride with them.
He threw jabs when they didn't win. Let's be honest. Every Democrat was criticizing the party after they lost.
But he was. What I'm saying though, he's critiqued though. You can't make it like this, man. He's critiqued in a lot of ways. Matter of fact, he critiqued when Joe Biden was running again. He was like, I don't think Biden should run.
Did he critique boys going in girls' bathrooms?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
He never did. Did he critique biological males playing in women's sports?
Yeah, he said he's against. He said he's against that.
When?
On his show.
I never heard him say that. Did he speak out? Was he as vocal about that as he was about every little petty gripe he had against Trump?
I mean, I can't tell if he was about. I don't know every gripe he has against Trump.
Because let me tell you this: the boys playing in the girls' sports was something that was a daily topic for 4 years. You're telling me Charlemagne mentioned it once, and he criticized the Democrats just as much? No, you can't mention something once, but talk about the other side every damn day negatively.
Tug, let's be fucking for real. It's what 1% of population that's transgender. That shit's not even an issue.
No.
Make that an issue
it's
bigger
not
than
an
it really
issue.
was.
It's not an issue until it's your kid.
And, hey, if it was my kid, I wouldn't give a fuck. I mean, that shit don't, I don't
you
know.
really listen. You
I
really would.
wouldn't.
Listen. No, let me.
I really wouldn't, bro. I'm just, you know me, bro. I'm just being honest with you. That's something like that wouldn't, you know. It's way more pressing issues.
I've personally been impacted by it. There are Americans who have been.
You have a thing towards them, though.
Samir, no. This was, throw that to the side. Samir, wait, real quick. No, I want to tell everybody because everyone dismissed. This is the Democrat tactic. Oh, it's not that many people. Why do people say that? Not that many people are mass murderers, but if someone gets killed, everyone's talking about it. So you're telling me that what is it? Prevalence? Like, what is it? Prevalence, like the amount of times it happens.
No, I'm saying, Tuck, we got bigger pressing issues than that.
No, that's not big to you.
We have more pressing issues than that.
Listen.
How many transgender people come across in one day?
Listen, how many okay, just tell my audience real quick what happened when we played soccer for the Bumblebees.
There was this one kid that looked like straight on like a boy, like facial features and everything. Bro, there was no doubt in my mind that kid was a straight up boy. Like build, face, hair. Oh, okay, hair. Like girls have short hair, but this kid looked dead ass like a boy. It was crazy.
No, how did you guys, when you competed against this kid? First, how did it look when that kid was on the field?
It literally just looked like a guy like picking on a bunch of girls in soccer. I remember we lost that game, but
you guys were undefeated.
We were undefeated. We lost that game. That guy was like scoring all the points. It was honestly wild. Like those other girls were like just in the back. Pretty much, they were just in the back, and he was doing it, or that kid was doing everything.
Okay, thank you. So.
Hey, wait, hold on.
Okay.
She made me feel old because I remember her baby shower. Just to let her know, I remember the baby shower.
KP said you made him feel old because he remember your baby shower. but listen, this is what I'm saying. The argument you're using is the worst argument possible. It doesn't matter because there aren't that many. But then what happens is, you know, if someone sees a little cancer, right? The doctors, do they say, oh, it's not that big. Let's just let it grow. Let's just leave it alone. No, they cut it out because it has the potential to grow into a huge problem. So my daughter, that's personal. But that's hundreds of people in this soccer league, right?
But let's use another example. Then you have the same people who turn around. If an issue happened to a black person by a white
why
person,
did my daughter get kicked out of soccer?
But listen.
Wait, no, let me ask you a question. Let me just ask you a question.
She got kicked out or she quit?
Kicked her and several other girls. Kicked out. Damn near their whole team. Kicked out because they said they do not want to play against a boy. And it was bad, KP. Like, you don't even have a chance. Why did you pay your money? Why is your daughter on the field when they're going to let a little boy play? The boy looked like he had years of soccer experience, by the way. It looked like these girls were standing in fucking mud, bro.
We got to get them in the training camp then, too. You got to get them. You got to build their muscles.
But what I'm saying is, what does that do to their psyche? Niggas will be quick to be like, man, when I was young, my dad wasn't around. Or this happened that hurt me psychologically. You don't think that does something to our daughters when they're basically told you're never going to be good enough because even when you're good at something, we're going to let a boy come and just take it from you.
But
what does that do to them psychologically?
Well, listen, like I said, if a black person came and said something about a white person, right, did something to them, and we could say, oh, that's just this one thing, people will minimize that. So I'm saying, look, my thing is this.
Nobody minimized anything. There were
Just
whole
listen,
movements behind that, but go ahead.
Just listen. There's millions of issues we can talk about, right? But we have pressing, bigger issues that we can make our focus on. It's like I told people about the Epstein file. People who pressed about that, I mean, I think Trump a creep. I think he did whatever they said he did. But what does that do for me?
I mean, you just don't have proof.
You know, I mean, we ain't gonna never get the proof. Anybody who believes we'll get the proof is crazy.
I think we have all the proof we need. Trump's trying to release the files. Democrats are blocking him.
No, well, the House Republicans blocked the files last month.
Listen, the House, no, they didn't. That was a specific federal judge who blocked the transcript.
No, but before you talking about what's it, Rosenberg? The House Republicans also blocked the files.
But we know that Trump is trying to release the files. So we know the politicians.
The man said the files didn't even exist.
Who did?
Trump.
No, he did not. He said what he said is that they're saying that the files could be doctored up by Obama, just like we're finding out that the Russiagate stuff was doctored up by Obama.
Well, Obama wasn't even in office when these files were.
I'm talking about the Russiagate stuff.
I'm talking about the files. He said, "Look, man.
Do you really think that the Epstein files just got found out?"
No, I don't think that. I don't. Listen, I look at it like this, man. We know these people in those positions are weird. They creeps. I mean, that man has showed display. He's, to me, from things I've seen, he displayed it. But it's like, what does that do for me? Him being on the Epstein files or not, what does it do for me? I mean, people don't give a fuck. There's more white men in this country who are child molesters than anything. Ain't nobody going to attack that.
Well, no, that's wrong, because Donald Trump has signed more legislation than any president in history to stop and fight the trafficking of children and women.
And you still have Republicans who stand by these people.
Republicans don't even like Donald Trump. You know that.
These people, listen, MAGA don't give a damn. These people don't give a damn.
Listen, man.
These same people who talk about the Epstein files are in states where the legal.
Why would you get rid of the guy?
16.
Why would you? Well, that's fine. That's what those states want, right? Some people who are 16 want to marry people.
I don't want to hear people talk about no Epstein's file when you sit there saying it's okay for motherfuckers to fuck 16-year-olds.
I'm not doing that because I'm not gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater, and I'm not gonna try to make a comparison between two totally different situations. The age of consent, whatever the states decide, that's what the people of that state want.
No, those are shit that's been around forever.
Yeah, but they have the ability to go vote in order to overturn it.
These people don't even bring it because they want to fuck kids.
Do they have the power? The women in the state, which outnumber men,
but these people want that. So that's why I say I don't want to hear the bullshit ass complaining about.
But that's the democracy that you Democrats kept saying we got to stand up for and fight for.
I mean, that's a democracy everybody wants.
So why do you have a problem with democracy?
My problem is not that. My problem is I don't want to hear people complain about Epstein's files when they still support pedophile shit.
I don't want to hear people complain about Epstein's files either when they're guarding the files.
When I can move to Alabama and marry a fucking 10th grader, then people can't complain about no Epstein's file. They believe that's what they support. That's what they believe in. They cool with that.
I think the age of consent in Alabama is 16.
It is.
Yeah. So if those people want that to be the age of consent, that's their right as a democracy to do that.
Right.
But I'm not going to say, let's stop hunting down pedophiles because you can marry someone, remember, with their consent. That's the biggest thing you're missing. They can get married at 16 if that's what they want to do. Trafficking and pedophilia is against people's will. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. I mean, legally, you're not wrong. Legally,
consent
you're not wrong.
versus no consent. Consent is a humongous word.
Hey, you know what's crazy? And that's how a lot of motherfucking pedophiles get away with shit, bro, because they use legal terms.
Well, all I know is I've done more to fight pedophiles than any of these damn liberals around me. And these people, come on, man. The Democrat Party is literally trying to legalize pedophilia. Stop it.
In what way? In what law?
Dude, they try to turn the term into a minor attracted person. And then they did some stuff where they were like not enforcing. They were not locking up They were trying to get something to where you wouldn't go to jail.
Democrat states have stronger laws on pedophiles against Republican states.
Yeah, but guess what? They also
Way
have
stronger laws.
But guess what? The Democrats are the ones trying to change the terminology.
And
that's what they do. If the law goes against pedophilia, they'll label it something else so it won't fall under the term pedophilia.
They have stronger laws against pedophiles than Republican states.
Listen, they have stronger laws against guns too, but they got a bunch of mass shootings.
There's more people. You got to. I mean, we.
Yeah, but why do you make an excuse for that, but not for the? Why do you acknowledge that, but not the fact that the most perverse stuff, legislation, is happening in Democrat states, bro? They literally said that they will. California Democrats just voted not to enforce laws against people who traffic minors.
What law is that? Pull that up for me.
I'll pull it for you, and then I'll let you make your last point, and then I gotta go to the next person.
No, that was my last point. I love. Hey, why you wasn't on no?
I did a whole. Yeah.
You always get fired.
Yeah,
you just like a regular. You like a liberal nigga, huh? You always get fired from some shit.
Liberal N-word.
Oh my bad. I don't want to get your channel messed up.
Look,
I love you, my nigga.
Hey, I want to show you this law real quick.
I'm with you. Show me.
I did a whole show on this right here. I'll show you this part. You can look this stuff up if you want to. Here it goes right here. Boom. Let me make it a little bigger. What the hell is going on? Okay. I truly just want this part. Okay, there we go. Yeah. This was just this year. Oh, they got the most laws against pedophiles. Why are California Democrats against higher sentences for child sex crimes? California Democrats block another attempt to make consequences harsher for buyers of teens. Newsom again overrides Dems on sex trafficking. Controversial bill on trafficking minors moves forward, but with amendments. California Democrats reject push for harsher penalties for soliciting sex from older teens. California Democrat leaders appear poised to reverse course on child X trafficking bill. California Dems run ads against GOP on X trafficking bill after blocking penalties for teen solicitation. Why California Democrats killed, then resurrected a bill to crack down on buying teens for X. Assembly Democrats protect predators. Assembly Republicans secure victory as Democrats finally capitulate on X trafficking, 16 and 17-year-olds. So the Republicans wanted to pass a bill about X trafficking 16-year-olds, the ones you love in Alabama, the ones you're concerned about. Why did they have to reverse course? Because people got so outraged that they were blocking it, they were threatening not to vote for them again. And you know what they did? They said, oh, shoot, we're going to lose power. Let's actually do the right thing. Come on, man, this is not fake. No one's going to tell me the Democrat Party cares about minors. They don't. They don't.
The Republican Party care about, but none of these people care about.
Probably
minors,
not.
bro.
But what I know is
that's my whole look. Hey, I love you, but that's my whole issue, bro.
You keep saying the Republicans don't care, but I don't see Republicans.
No, I'm saying
none
nobody
of the stuff the
cares
Democrats
about
are doing. I don't see Republicans doing any.
Motherfuckers literally have. All right. Listen, my whole thing is, it's not a one-party thing, bro. It's the system. The system don't give a fuck about this.
Let's say it's the system.
Don't give a fuck about it, bro.
Let's say it's the system. But what I'm telling you is there's only one party that I see against the X trafficking. Only one party I see against Only one party I see against the genital mutilation. All this stuff. The only ones I see fighting against it is the Republicans. Now, there are people in the ranks of Republicans who might support this, but overwhelmingly, Republicans know if they support this, they will not get voted. They will not get voted in. And the biggest example is our president, Donald Trump, a beacon of transparency, is 1,000% against this madness and ran to get rid of it and is doing that. So you can say whatever you want to say about the party, but it's more about the leadership of the party because they follow the leader.
I feel you on that one.
So, hey, and what did Biden do? He basically just ignored it. He acted like he had nothing to do with it while letting more PDF files and rapists into the country from South American prisons. Thank you, bro.
Well, we can't
You
say
always
that
could come.
they have a low, they have a lower percentage.
Man, Biden made an
straight white
executive
male.
order to open up the border, man. Come on now. Stop.
Straight white males lead in that by an
I get it.
astronomical number.
I get it. And Donald Trump is going against those straight white males.
All right.
His big you can stay up and come back on the
No.
next topic.
That's some other shit. I'll get at you.
All right, for sure. Big Miles Carter, what's up, my brother? What say you about this Charlemagne? Do you think this guy's right to go after Trump, or do you think that Charlemagne should shut the hell up and focus on more important things?
Man, listen, man, I think Charlemagne the God has been saying a lot of the same things for years and years and years. I think he's a needed voice in only in certain ways though, right? We know that politicians on both sides will always use the it person in communities to speak for them, for their party or for their agenda. I think that Charlemagne the God for a very long time was the, I mean, shit, he was suspect for years. He was for extra for years. He was Crip Mac he was Lush. I mean, that's the better comparison, honestly. He was Lush for years and years and years, and I think that he has found a way to elevate himself, both in his career and his beliefs, and I think that's parlayed into being a voice for this political party. And I wonder if he struggles with that. And the reason why I say that is because I do agree with the brother KP, even though I don't agree with him on a lot of things. For example, when is the last time that brother went to his city council to talk to them about the age of consent in his area? I'll move on. I think that one of the things that that I do agree with the brother is I do think that Charlemagne has pushed back on Democrats in the past. He did criticize the Harris campaign, even when she was on the campaign trail. He did point out some of her weak points. Angela Rye would come on the show and he would say, "Y'all not doing this, but you're doing this. You're focusing on the wrong things. She's not doing X, Y, and Z right." I think he criticized when it came to her vice president pick, even though people kind of liked the coach or whatever his name is. He was still pretty hard on the fact that she picked this white man.
But nothing in you believes that could have possibly been controlled opposition, because the Democrats had this real cult vibe going on where it was like nobody wanted to criticize Kamala or anybody. You don't think that they might have actually told him to do that to make it look like Kamala was getting pushed back from the media?
I agree with you, to be short, but I'll say it like this: if suspect went to an all-white podcast, which is funny because you look at No Jumper and the people who are in control seems like they are all white. But if Sus he found an opportunity at a all-white podcast where it was a bunch of suburban people, and they said, "Hey man, to stay on here to get this money, you got to continue to say X, Y, and Z." You think he would say it?
Yeah.
I think Charlemagne's the same way. I think that he has found a roadmap, and I think that he is sticking to that roadmap. So then when you see him get these spots like The Daily Show or when he had his own Comedy Central special, I think that is fruit of his labors, if you will, right? He made the right friends. He said the right things. Therefore, in the words of Cat Williams, you get your light-skinned wife and a mansion in the hills or whatever. And I think it's a little bit different with Charlemagne because he's been able to kind of make his own way, and bring people along. We saw a time period where Charlemagne actually did, I think, a really good job of reflecting the thoughts and views of segments of the Black community while still being able to point out the things that they were telling him to say, right?
I
And
mean, but
then,
Charlemagne was being just like a typical Black person. He was talking down on the Democrats, but everyone knew he was going to still support them. If
yeah, no,
you can criticize all you want, but if your criticism has no teeth, like I'm really not voting for y'all, then you're just controlled opposition, man. And Charlemagne realized I can make more money pretending to be the Democrat version of Joe Rogan. What Charlemagne did was he saw Rogan's technique, it was working. Charlemagne literally copied it. Oh, I'm gonna act like I'm really coming for them. Only difference is I feel like Rogan is more genuine and
yeah,
authentic in his nonpartisan nature, his nonpartisanship. Charlemagne is a diehard Democrat, bro. He ain't voting for nobody else. It don't matter. He's right now, after Trump has basically saved America's economy, he's still saying at this point he still would have voted for Kamala. He ain't real, bro. That's just a tactic. Any
do
last
you
thoughts?
think
30 seconds.
do you think that actually, if all I got is 30 seconds, let me ask you this: do you actually believe what he said? Do you think that Trump is losing his Republican base and that they are trying to pivot into what the Republican Party looks like after the fact?
Not at all. Trump's approval ratings are higher than they've ever been. Democrats have actually lost more of they've lost a lot of their base. A lot of Democrats have left the party. So I think it's what they do. Whatever's going on bad for them, they try to project it onto the next person to just kind of get people distracted. But no, Trump ain't losing no momentum. Trump is gaining momentum.
So last question, what is next for the Republican Party? Because I do agree with when he said there is no other Trump.
No, you don't need another Trump. All you need now, you can get somebody who's more towards the middle, which Trump to me is the middle. He is in the middle, but his name is so like polarizing at this point. You're just going to get someone who's a little bit more palatable for Democrats, and I think that's only going to help the Republicans. Because if you get somebody like JD Vance is more polished than Donald Trump, but people trust JD Vance.
Was he in the middle his first term?
JD Vance or Trump?
Trump.
Shoot, I don't even know where Trump was because he was getting investigated so much he couldn't even run the country. But thank you for coming up.
Hey man, also listen, man. I need you to give us like 30 minutes on these on the Sydney Sweeney bullshit. Is this
tomorrow?
Is this real or is this fake?
I'll post it tomorrow.
Facts.
I'll post it tomorrow. I'll give you a video on it. Dante Edmonds, what's up? Last guy on this topic. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Brandon?
What up?
Hey, now you got it, brother. Hey, what was the topic again? I was listening to my man go on.
Oh no, just do you think Charlemagne the God is right in his criticism of Trump, or do you think he needs to give up this this Trump beef and basically get on board and try to work with Trump?
No, I don't think that'll happen, bro. You know better. Now, working with Trump he's not going to do that. But
why? All the white people who pay him are.
Well, if they pay him, he'll say whatever they want him to say, of course. And he like you right about that. He kind of leans Trump anyway, but he represents the blue no matter who crowd,
right?
So that's what he's got to still make sense to them,
right?
So but he made a lot of comments. I saw an interview he was in where he actually spoke in favor of Jon Stewart, and I don't think it was a joke,
right?
So out of all the people, and if he's representing black people, that's something to think about. If he's saying things like that, he didn't even back it up with anything remotely black. He said Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert. Even if that was a joke, it was a bad one.
No, that's who he loves. You know why? Because he gets paid to be a guest host on their show when they go on vacation.
Shoeshine. Sammy Davis Jr. He's the Rat Pack of the. He's the boy. They always got to have one. They got to have one, and that's
And do you ever notice this about Charlemagne? He never puts anybody else black on. He literally will go work with Adam Scholes. Why don't you go work on another black podcast?
It's the dynamic of what black success looks like. Denzel Washington don't work with a collectively of black filmmakers.
You always work with Spike Lee.
Okay, well, what I want to say is take the spot. I was going to say the Spike Lee dynamic, right? But okay, let's take Spike Lee, right? He got his teeth kind of with Spike Lee, I guess.
I can't stand with your Denzel point because with the nature of black Hollywood, would you work with 90% of these black Tyler Perry and want you to kiss a man and all this shit? I see why Denzel is the way he is.
Well, like I'm saying, but this was my point. If all of these black actors, because they controlled at one point, it was more black Hollywood, actors and directors like John Singleton, the whole era of him.
That's called the 90s, the 80s and the 90s.
Right. See, but none of all these bodies of people who controlled the industry at one point could not get together and make a black film, black produced, black everything, and couldn't come up with their own studio, their own Hollywood. But Nigeria is able to produce a Nollywood because they are all Nigerian. That's the problem with black people.
Because the black folks want them big old paychecks.
Right, but see, you said, but before those white people could get those big paychecks, before Hollywood could be Hollywood, somebody had to sacrifice something.
Well, that's Martin Luther King,
No.
Listen, Martin Luther King told black people that the epitome of our existence was to be accepted into white spaces. That was programming, bro.
Okay, well, before
Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. In the words that followed that, did not say that we build a black utopia unto ourselves so that we can deal with other races on equal footing. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream that my 4 little girls can be accepted by white folks and not be recognized or identified by the color of their skin. Martin Luther King told people, go get beat up and attacked by dogs so you could sit in a store and eat a sandwich sitting next to a white person.
Well, and he was getting paid by liberals.
Of
He was getting paid
course.
to say that. We all know.
But I'm just telling you,
let's expose that part now. He was getting paid to say that, right?
Yeah, but we can't complain about us not having our own because we did used to have our own, believe it or not.
Oh, right.
Unless we acknowledge how we got tricked out of our own.
Right, because you bring up King and what he said. Now, I'm asking you who said this. Any leadership that teaches you, to depend on another race is a leadership that will enslave you.
That is Marcus Garvey.
Okay. Right. So that's who we listen to. That's who King studied but was misled.
Shit, but Tariq telling us he a tether.
Who?
Tariq Nasheed.
Oh man, look. Hey, I've never heard of. I ain't gonna say I've never heard of him. What I'm saying is, I've never heard a more feminine talking guy. And I don't mean to say that a lot of black dudes talk.
He talk like a mammy. He be smacking his damn lips.
Right. But then when they talk about, because men saying about another man's hairline and their appearance and the way they look, that's kind of. I'm not saying he's queer or not. I'm just saying that kind of.
He's definitely a queer.
That feminine behavior, that talk from men, I don't like that. When you talk about a man hairline, why are you looking at a man hairline, his body features? What else you looking at? Shoe size, hand size? What you looking at?
When that's what you like, you gotta check them out.
No, I ain't gonna let you talk me like to do that with me, B. But you know what I'm talking about. The language. This is the language that people tend to use.
I get what you're saying. Okay, final thoughts on this one. 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think Charlemagne should just keep doing what he's doing because he's running a long line of black people before him, so he can't be condemned for getting his 30 in silver and doing that. But
he can be condemned. We just gotta say he's joining a long line of coons before him.
Right, black people. Like I said, black people are the original Hebrews. We the original Hebrews.
You're just playing. You making that up.
No, give us Barabbas.
You were
Remember
normal. You were
Give us
normal
Barabbas.
till you said that. I was with you.
Give us Barabbas. We the real Israelites.
Black people are reflective of any group of people who are in a colonized state. The Jews at that time were colonized by the Romans, and part of that colonization is psychologically programming you to always operate against your own best interest. So I'm not going to say we the original Hebrews. We are just the most recent in a long line, not most recent even, but we are just another addition to a long list of, we're an addition to a long line of colonized peoples who do the same thing. The Arabs betrayed the Turks to become damn near colonies of the British Empire. Let that sink in. They turned on the Ottoman Empire where they got treated fairly to become basically vassals of the British Empire, who came in and just took all their oil and didn't give them shit barely. So that's the nature of people sometimes, of colonized people. Thank you so much, Dantes, for hopping up.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks for having me. You the man, B.
All right. You're welcome. All right, guys, let's go to this next topic. Next topic is going to be Donald Trump ended Kamala Harris's career, bro. Man, Kamala is out. Hey, if going out sad was a person, it would literally be Kamala Harris. If going out sad was a person, it would literally be Kamala Harris. I gotta let you guys hear what this lady said when she sat down with Colbert. This woman just sounded pathetic. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kamala sounded unhinged, man. I can't lie. She sounded unhinged. Let me get a video for you guys here. Hold on, I want to see what she said here, dude. All right, let's go here first. We'll go to this one first because Jesus Christ, Kamala just looks so ridiculous. But they're trying to. I can't play CNN because they just try to glaze this woman nonstop. It's so bad that when you try to look up like recent things on Kamala, they like just try to throw you like a bunch of old stuff because she just looks that bad. She sits down with Colbert, and when I tell you this lady embarrassed herself even more, no one really thought Kamala Harris could embarrass herself more than she did over her 4 years as vice president and during her time running for president. I'll just play this. I had to stop that. That is like CBS or something. They might flag the stream. I don't want to get flagged. Let's just go. Let's see if we can get this one. Dang. This is terrible. I'm gonna go Kamala Harris, Colbert. I can't believe she actually went on here and embarrassed herself like she did. Oh, this is perfect. Wait a minute. I want to give you guys like a little bit longer of what she said. It just sounds fucking crazy, man. I want to get a good clip because she just sounded unhinged. I think Vincent Dow had a good one. The fact that Kamala Harris she's using that she ran the shortest presidential campaign in history. She's using that like that's a win. She's literally saying, "Oh, that makes me amazing." I'm just gonna play the hill rise.
Appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert Thursday. Kamala Harris is back in action. The former vice president, who may run again for president in 2028, appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert Thursday. This was her first interview since losing the November election to President Trump.
Harris made headlines already this week when she said she will not be running for California governor in 2026. Here she is explaining that move.
Recently, Harris told Colbert that she didn't watch the news for months after losing to Trump because, quote, "I'm just not into self-mutilation." She further slammed those not pushing back hard enough on Trump. Let's take a listen.
It is complete.
The former VP was appearing on Colbert's show to promote her forthcoming book. Harris is set to publish a campaign memoir of her 2024 presidential bid. The book is called 107 Days, and that will be out this fall. Here she was making that announcement earlier in the week. Let's watch.
Just over a year ago, I launched my campaign for President of the United States. 107 days, traveling the country, fighting for our future. The shortest presidential campaign in modern history. This book, 107 Days. With candor and reflection, I've written a behind-the-scenes account of that journey. I believe there's value in sharing what I saw, what I learned, and what I know it will take to move forward.
You'll be dashing out to buy your, she is back, dashing out to buy your copy of 107 Days.
Well, hopefully I can get a free review copy. I don't want to spend my money.
Fair enough. So my overall view of this is that I have never been all that enthused about Kamala Harris as a candidate. I think she was obviously a better option than Biden last year because that was just untenable to continue with him. And there wasn't really, in my view, time for a proper primary. I am not even convinced that she will ultimately run for president in 2028, but she's certainly keeping.
Everyone knows that Kamala Harris is not running for president in 2028. She was utterly humiliated. No one in their right mind is going to vote for her. They had enough momentum to get a little under half the country to support her just out of Trump hysteria. But now that people have realized that there's no more Trump, there's no one who people are so afraid of who's been demonized as much as Trump for people to throw their vote behind someone they really don't like Kamala. Excuse me. I mean, you have people who are dumb enough to risk an open border to let all types of lunatics in the country because they were so afraid of Trump. I don't know what politician on earth will be that scary to make people do that again. On top of that, Kamala's only out here showing her face because she is trying to get money. That is the only thing that can make her crawl out of the damn shadows. Trying to get money is the only thing that can make Kamala come out of the shadows. That's a damn shame. Which tells you what was her number one motivation? The same as Joe Biden's. Get rich or die trying. Joe Biden and Kamala are like 50 Cent at this point. They want that bread. Biden was like, I'm going to enrich the Biden crime family if it kills me. And it almost did. It almost did. He survived it, though. I want to see this clip right here.
But who's leading?
Okay, let's see. Right here. This is good. Guys, I put the link in the comments if you want to come up and give your... Basically, I was looking for a clip where she tries to say like, "Oh, there's not enough opposition and resistance to Trump." Listen, man, the Democrats are trying to resist. They're trying to push back against Trump, but their party is deeply divided fundamentally. You have on one hand a bunch of radicals who basically are like, we're willing to tear America apart just because we feel bad about what's going on in other countries. And then on the other hand, you have, I would say, the somewhat normal Democrats who are like, guys, like, the jig is up. We lost. We don't got to play crazy no more. It's like playing crazy after the crazy check thing came. Like, dude, you got the crazy check. You don't got to keep acting crazy now. Some people are trying to win an Academy Award. Like, dude, like, hey, guys, Trump won. We don't have to pretend to care about illegal immigrants no more. But when you got people talking about we need to bring traffickers back in the country for due process, listen, you're going to lose a lot of normal people on the Democrat side of the aisle. They're willing to put up with a lot. But once they feel like they're in danger or their children are in danger, then all that crap's going out the window. But you got people who keep pushing, people whose entire identity is wrapped up on radicalism and just being weird. What up, RF? My boy is in the building.
Hey, good evening. Can you hear
Good
me?
evening. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, Kamala, it's just sad and pathetic, Kamala Harris. I mean, first of all, she couldn't even win the governorship of California, so I don't even know why she even teased that. She just pretty much wants to sell her book at this point. But it's kind of like Karen Bass in LA, two Democrats that just have nothing going for themselves, sad, pathetic, and they want to run on allowing illegal immigration. And I just don't know how that's going to be a winning issue. And if you look at the Democrats, they are killing themselves now because you got the radical, the way radical portion of the party and the somewhat normal Democratic Party, where they have the guy in New York, Zohan, who's one of the Democratic Socialists is what they call themselves now, who's in New York, and now they're bending over backwards saying, should we endorse them? Should we not? So they got to figure out what kind of party they are. And I don't know how you run whoever's going to run on saying we're going to roll back everything that Trump's did on the border. We're going to take all the guards off the border. We're going to allow all the people in. We're going to restore the CPB-1 app. We're going to do TPS. How are you going to run on reversing all these things that Trump managed to get done? It's impossible. It's impossible. So I think the Democrats are pretty much dead, at least on a national level for the foreseeable future, and even to some extent on a local level, because I don't know what they're running on now. They're running on illegals, running down to El Salvador to get somebody that has been convicted of beating his wife to stay in the country. I mean, it makes no sense. That party is lost.
Hey, you are 100% right. That party is absolutely lost. They don't know what to do. So they're just trying to throw shit at the wall and see if something sticks. And
Right.
that's absolutely sad, man. Like, they just fought for too much dumb stuff.
Gavin Newsom. His whole agenda now is not even to be governor of California. It's to try to outrage Trump. But his Twitter now is looking like he's trying to be Trump, but it's not working for him. Everything Trump does, here's Gavin Newsom responding on X, trying to be Donald Trump. But it's not going to work for Gavin Newsom because I'm assuming he's going to be the next person to run for because he was
Bro,
mad at he.
how? How? Look at
Well,
this state.
yeah, the state's in terrible shape, but and I think the next governor of California is actually going to be a Republican if you look at it, because I don't see anybody out there in the Democratic Party that's going to you know that's going to be able to. And people are like, well, how are you going to have a Republic? We've had Republican governors of California before, more than a few of them. So I don't know how people think it's somehow impossible to have a Republican governor in California, but. Yeah, I mean, Gavin Newsom, he's sad. He's going to run for president, obviously. That's why he never supported Kamala. He never showed it up at the Democratic convention. He's eating this up right now that she failed and fell flat on her face And so basically, she's going to be on a speaking tour collecting money now because she's out of politics as far as what I think, because she just she can't justify her record, man. Look at the board. How did Trump close the border in less than 30 days? And it took 4 years of Joe Biden, his auto pen, not doing anything. All these people coming in, 500,000, a million people just flying in and getting TPS. If anybody deserves TPS, it's probably the Haitians. That's the only people I can make a case for. But the rest of them, to me, they all got to go.
Hey, 100%. But I really feel like Gavin Newsom wanted to be the nominee when Biden capitulated, and when they didn't pick him, he felt offended. So now he's an enemy of Kamala Harris, right? But here's the thing, bro. I went to the beach the other day. Tell me why I waited damn near an hour and a half just to get into the state beach. Think about that.
Wow.
There's 200 cars waiting to get in the beach. There's 2 booths open. I think there's a possible like 5 or 6 booths. Only 2 of them are open. And there's a line down PCH to get into the state beach. Bro, to me, that is mismanagement. We don't got enough people working on a Saturday at the beach knowing that these are the most inundated days of the summer,
Right.
especially at the bonfire pits. This guy is not an executive.
This was in LA?
This was in Seal Beach.
Still
At
Beach,
Bolsa
okay.
Chica. But man, listen. Those LA beaches are local beaches, I believe. They're like city beaches or whatever. But man, the state beach was so ridiculous, man. I said, dude, look at all these thousands of dollars the state is just missing out on just because of incompetence. And it's just all over the state. It's like that. I mean, even when they shut down the freeways to do road work with Caltrans, bro, why are you shutting down the fucking freeway at 3:00 in the afternoon? Aren't they supposed to do that overnight?
They used to do it overnight. I don't know what's going on now. They'll shut down literally 3 lanes in the middle of the day at high noon at rush hour. They don't give a damn no more.
Bruh, it's so bad. It's just mismanagement. Gavin Newsom, he's only getting elected because people are like, I'm afraid of Trump. What if a Republican comes in? Like, we get complacent in this state.
I don't think so. I think Gavin Newsom, I think his time is over. He
Well,
totally
look at when
failed
they
the
tried to
state.
recall him. Look what happened when they tried to recall him.
Yeah, but that was before a lot of things have happened. Right? Gavin Newsom is too worried about suing Trump over sanctuary cities, and I mean, I don't know how it's a good look aligning yourself with Karen Bass, who's a total loser. She is literally. I think Karen Bass might be the worst mayor that
She
LA
might
is.
be the
I
worst
can't.
politician in history, bro.
Yeah, I mean, this running down there to run when ICE comes. Here she go running down to the park, throwing herself in front of ICE.
No. But what about when she was taking all these trips to Cuba and basically declaring herself a communist and all that?
Well, she was
You
in
don't even know
Africa
about
during the
that.
fires. During the fires, she was over there in Africa in Ghana getting some kind of award. And when the fires was break, they had to force her to come back to LA.
I don't even want her in Ghana because all she's gonna do is try to bring socialism.
Yeah, that lady's but I don't even know where she
Man,
came from,
her
how she got
mind,
elected.
the way she talks like she's slow a little bit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what you
And
say?
then she came out there
What you say?
gloating over the lawsuit that they won that ICE can't come and profile people. They can't wear masks and all this other kind of stuff. She's out there gloating over that of people trying to
Man,
dox ICE
that's
officers.
some bullshit. State law, federal. These states cannot tell federal police officers what they can do. They gonna do what they want to do.
Well, you can't go over somebody doesn't speak. Like, I mean, this lady, she's fighting for people who can't even vote.
All they're fighting for is for the Latino support. That's it. They
Yeah, but
know that the road to anything in Cali goes through Latinos. So they'll do lip service, a bunch of symbolic gestures, so people can say, oh, they support us. That's it.
well, I would like to remind people 55% of Hispanic Latino men voted for Donald Trump.
Right.
I don't know how you get around that fact of the matter.
And then they try to act like, oh, that's just a fluke. No, more are going to support Donald Trump because those guys know how bad it can get. They fled those countries because of the way those countries operate. You think they would have bring the people from those countries to the United States? Hell fucking no.
Well, no, and also, those are jobs that these people who are here, they want the jobs that the illegal migrants are taking, they want those jobs. The Latinos that are here in legal status, they want those jobs. And, you know, I, the whole state of California is a mess. I'm actually thinking about getting the hell out of this state because this state is going downhill fast.
Man, yeah, California is cooked.
And I love the state too. I mean, I don't think, to me, honestly, I've lived someplace. California is probably probably the most beautiful state in the nation.
It
Just
is.
looking at it, but we got some real messed up politicians here, man. We got some real messed up politicians. I mean, even when Gavin Newsom took over, it's just went downhill. I
Yeah,
don't know how.
Gavin Newsom and the woke cult, they've made California unlivable.
They did. And then with the homeless situation, the crazy people running around on the streets, there's no accountability, and the state, you know, the homeless situation, the Trump just signed an executive order making it easy to institutionalize some of these people that are crazy out here in fentanyl psychosis and to get them off the streets. And guess Gavin Newsom, well, we can't do that because we need real solutions and this and that.
Yeah, just saying anything. Real
Anything.
solutions. Bro, you've been here for how long to where you could have implemented a real solution? Gavin Newsom shouldn't even be allowed to speak on homelessness anymore, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what Democrat is running for mayor, who governor of California. I don't even. But Kamala Harris, but that's one. And you ever notice her video? Her interviews are literally like word salad. She said a bunch of nothing. She literally sits there and says a bunch of nothing.
No, 100%. 100%. I've been noticed that.
Yeah,
Kamala Harris is just like, she's literally just talking out the side of her neck the whole time.
But
Word
the
salad.
word salad. The one thing Gavin Newsom was right about is they did push her in front of him. They did not want to take that to the floor of the Democratic convention to have them fight it out to see who the nominee was going to be. They
No,
actually they literally gave it to Kamala.
Oh, of course.
They gave it to her.
They can't have Kamala. Man, listen, she would have got humiliated by another Democrat. And they know that. They got some hungry young Democrats out there. She would have been humiliated. They can't risk that.
Yeah, but the young Democrats and the young Democrats right now are literally crazy. AOC,
Right.
who is going to be the young Democrat to run for president? Can you imagine open the borders? Like we're going to get rid of ICE. We're going to stop. I mean, the Democrats literally have killed their own party with what they're doing. And even the black Democrats in some of these cities, the Chicago mayor, you know, I don't even know who can you look at for a Democrat to say this is a sensible person. Now, Bernie Sanders is looking like the sensible Democrat at this point, but he too old.
No. Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, but he's old as fuck. Nobody's gonna vote for Bernie.
Yeah, he's way too old. He is way too old.
And in my opinion, Bernie has done a lot of stuff that has discredited him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he. Well, of all the Democrats, it's funny when I'm looking at him, the one that makes sense because AOC is a total nut job. She's running out there with that the Zirhan, whatever his name is, out there in New York, and then she's cooked. And then the Elon Omar, hopefully they get her for marrying. She married her damn brother to get in this country. I think she married some shit like she married her brother.
Yeah, that's what they say.
They say she married her, something like that. And that one hood rat in Texas, that black congresswoman, who's about to lose her seat because they're about to redistrict and get her up out of there.
Oh, Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett, yeah, the hood rat. She's from Texas, I think. Yeah, she about to lose her seat.
Yeah, they don't even like her. The Democrats hate her. They said all she's worried about is herself, and she don't care about the rest of the party. and all this shit. It's a lot of mess going on with that.
It's crazy when Nancy Pelosi is probably the best leader that the Democrats have had in the last few years. Because when she left, they really ain't getting shit done. I mean, nothing done.
Yeah, it's bad. It's sad all. Hey, it's bad. Like they say, it's bad all over, man. The Democrats they're struggling. They're suffering right now. But hey, what are you gonna do? But RF, thank you so much for coming up, man. Always
All
a
right.
pleasure to talk to you, my brother.
All right, take it easy and
Say that again. Say that last part again.
oh no, I said take it easy. Have a good night.
Thanks. All right, guys. Look, we got to get super chat. Boom. Sticks and Stones LA. Trump has found 10K out of the 200K plus children lost in X trafficking. Exactly. Trump is getting stuff done. Trump is actually combating the trafficking, unlike these other politicians. And so when people get up here and say, oh, both parties, I'm like, only one person from one party is doing anything to fix the problem. Stop it. It's a false equivalency. Shout out to Players Only TV. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Shout out to Sticks and Stones LA for the $4.99 holler. And shout out to Sticks and Stones LA for the $5 in the Cash App. Thank you all for watching this stream. I appreciate you. You know where to find me. Defiant Brandon. You are all the Defiant ones. Keep on tapping in for some honest reporting, for some real logical and rational analysis. Until the next time, please take care of yourselves, but most importantly, take care of one another. Till the next time, peace.